Welcome back to another spooky video. I'm a little late to this information, but I heard about it briefly from another YouTuber's video who was reacting to Ouija board TikToks, and I actually had to do a little bit of digging with this. There wasn't that much, so I had to really look around. But between November 2022 and thus far in 2023, roughly 39 children from 2 Colombian schools have had adverse side effects from conducting Ouija board seances on the school property. In the first case in Hato, Colombia, 11 students experienced violent vomiting and muscle spasms. After being brought to the hospital, food poisoning and other substances were ruled out, so that discovery further strengthened the belief that it was at the fault of the Ouija board. While later in Pasto, Colombia, the second case had mass panic attacks, or I guess you could say mass hysteria, with some of them even fainting. One parent was photographed carrying his daughter out of the school. She appeared to be hanging limp as though she was unconscious. So in an article in March of the second event states that the first 2 hospitalized students have underlying medical conditions. He clarified the school is waiting for the medical diagnosis to provide further reliable information. The Educational Institute also respectfully asks citizens to refrain from making early judgments in diagnoses of their own. Many parents believe that the children have been using Ouija boards in class. One mother complained, "I work here in a hospital kiosk, and every day I see 3 or 4 children arrive after fainting." Parents, you have to move. Investigate what's happening at school, because our children cannot continue in this situation. Our children always have a good breakfast, and it cannot be said that's what's happening due to a lack of food. So it appears that this has happened more than at just this instance, because this one mother that works at the hospital says every day she's seeing 3 or 4 people, so this must have been happening leading up to this instance. And another who states that it's not due to a lack of food that they make sure that they have a good breakfast, so they're not going hungry and experiencing hunger symptoms that could lead to anxiety.
Carolina Pardo Zapata, líder de inspección y vigilancia. Frente al video que circula en redes referentes a una situación acontecida el día de hoy en la institución educativa Cristóbal Colón, es importante aclarar que la Secretaría de Educación, junto con la Secretaría de Salud, ya realizó la correspondiente activación de la ruta. Los estudiantes fueron atendidos por la correspondiente entidad prestadora de salud, encontrando que los hechos no obedecen a situación de intoxicación por ingesta de alimentos o de psicoactivos. Se encontró que corresponde a una presunta situación de retos juveniles. Desde la Secretaría de Educación realizaremos el correspondiente seguimiento a la situación y apoyo a la institución educativa por parte del COMSE para que no sucedan más estos eventos.
So people were questioning the symptoms connection to the board. I would assume that was especially after seeing what the students were able to film of the others' reactions.
¿Qué están jugando estos hermanos?
In a sort of unrelated case that I came across while watching another video about this during my initial research, I found that a boy from the Dominican Republic reported that he saw the devil in his classroom. Him, along with the other students, experienced similar symptoms to the other 2 cases and were caught on film with their reactions at the hospital. Again, they thought it was the school's lunch, and again, food poisoning was ruled out.
Cuando uno de los estudiantes que estaba en el centro educativo, después de haber comido el desayuno escolar, despertó despavorido y con el gran miedo y diciendo que había visto a Satanás.
El extraño evento inició en el aula de quinto de primaria en esta escuela de Baní, cuando uno de los estudiantes presuntamente vio a una mujer con un cuchillo que lo quería matar.
Ella estaba usando magia, yo no sé lo que ella me estaba sacando porque ella subió encima de mí a hacerme así.
A mí me pone nerviosa, me nació con un dolor de cabeza, con el susto.
porque eso nunca ha sucedido aquí.
Otros 5 compañeros comenzaron a ver lo mismo.
Ellos se desmayaban porque habían algunos que veían la presencia, pero como que no soportaban esa impresión.
¿Y qué cosas raras no se presta para el celestial? Pero es lleno que están en esos niños así.
Señores, sigan caminando. Apoyen, por favor. Otro más, María. Otro más. Mira ahí, mira ahí. Llegó otro más. Llegó otro más. Venga, por espalda. Llegó otro más.
We can see that the parents were in the waiting area and trying to control their children and kind of keep them from hurting themselves during the convulsions. And at the end of the video, the way that kid screamed, it did appear as if they were possessed. So the next day, the school canceled school for that day and sent a priest and exorcist in so they can come and cleanse it. Though it was never mentioned that there was anything involving a Ouija board in this case. However, it does raise suspicion to me, at least, that one could have been present or some other communicative instrument for contacting the other side. Just considering the facts of the symptoms, the multiple hospitalizations, and how possessed the children looked in the Dominican Republic video. But also, what other explanation would there be aside from their being evil, especially when the kid is saying, like, hey, I saw Satan in the classroom. So there are accounts of physical sickness and mental side effects in the form of fear and panic. Now, I'm almost done with a degree in psychology, but as far as I'm aware, anxiety isn't literally contagious. However, it could potentially trigger others into a panic, especially during a so-called game that makes you on edge the entire time, you know, if you believe in it, due to the potential to be, at minimum, scared, and in extreme cases, sick, injured, possessed, things of the sort. Are these truly a result of the Ouija board, like a haunting or a possession? Maybe possession, at least in the Dominican Republic case. Maybe they got scared, possibly traumatized from what they experienced during the seance session, or is it some sort of mass hysteria? Could this even just be simply that they're young kids with anxiety, with the state of the world we live in, pressures of school and life, whatever it may be? I don't know, let me know what you guys think, and that's all for me, and I'll see you in the next case or spooky story.